Hey, you guys, it's Lou. Welcome to Soulful Smudge Sunday. So today's topic is life is dramatic enough. We don't have to lie about it or exaggerate it, right? So yesterday was a really good day. I got so much done. I did a lot of work with spirit, having a week straight of pounding and construction. It was so nice yesterday to have nothing going on, no noise. And even though it was beautiful and sunny, I stayed in the house and enjoyed every minute of it. I cleaned, I smudged, I worked with spirit, I did yoga. And then I was thinking about, at that point yesterday, I'd only been off Instagram all of Friday. So I was starting to have withdrawals. Friday was kind of funny because I walked to the grocery store and as I'm walking, I'm seeing all these like really awesome things and I'm like, oh, and I go to take a picture of it or I go to take a video of it. And I was like, oh, wait. I'm like, wait a second. I'm like, I have nowhere to put this. I'm like, I have nowhere to put this. And I got kind of upset and I was like, I actually don't want to take pictures now. And that was interesting because I realized there was such a connection that I had with my artistry to sharing it with the world. So interestingly enough, I've only taken, I think, 5 pictures and like 2 videos since Thursday night, which for me is a lot. I mean, is nothing. So it's all about perspective. And, I just basically, Spirit's like, back up. Basically, why I wanted to talk about this is social media. It made me realize like what I do or don't need. I know I shouldn't care what I look like, but it really does tend to be like, hello, who's ever here? It gets to be a little daunting. Yesterday I took a shower, did my hair, everything was awesome, but I've been playing with oils and I ain't take another shower and wash my hair. But anyway, so thank you for coming. Thank you for being here. There is an energy here. I know, because it was really beautiful and it was really nice. And now I'm feeling this really weighted, heavy energy. So I don't know who's here, but I'm going to light a candle for that because I felt very grounded and very centered right when I started. And all of a sudden I'm feeling like really off. And Spirit wants me to segue into that with talking about, as empaths, how destructive, truly destructive social media is for us. And what I realized was I was going through some of the stuff that I'd written. And one of the things I had written before, long time ago, I don't know when, was I said that the biggest voluntary social experiment in human history is social media. I mean, what better way to control us? By thinking, it's like any other thing, right? Like if you're having a conversation with somebody and you know that there's somebody that likes to be in control, it's a lot easier and a lot better to let them think it's their idea than your idea. You know what I'm saying? So we have this illusion, this total illusion of control, but actually the social media is controlling us. So as I've been disengaging from the social media, as I've been disengaging from that energy as an empath, so many other things are flooding in. So many other things were coming to me. And I just realized like, it's just not for me. It's like, I want to participate. I want to be like everybody else, but it doesn't work for me. I mean, I've got 2 weeks left in this house before my mom gets here. My mom gets here exactly 2 weeks from today. So, which by the way, I'm putting that out there. If anybody wants any readings or wants to do any one-on-one with me, let's book it now, because once my mom gets here, she's going to be here for a few weeks and I'm probably not going to work while my mom is here. So, and also I've been getting called to do half-hour sessions for $45. I had that before. I had half-hour sessions for $45 and hour sessions for $85. And I upped it to $50 just because I was watching my competitors. And I think that has been my downfall because I have had the least amount of interaction with my clients than I've ever had. And I think it's because I've been trying too hard to be something that I'm not. or not something that I'm not, but just something that I'm not, something, hold on. I heard slow down and be quiet. There's a lot of energy coming at me. I can't help it. There's so many people here. There's so many, the 9, there's so many here. So let's take a breather. Oh, that feels much better. Okay. So I'm asked to back up and start over. Okay, how funny. And one of my spirit guides is like, this isn't about you today. I'm like, okay. So if there's anyone here right now that wants to ask any questions or has anything to say regarding what I'm saying, like, please come in now. If you have any questions, because I'm kind of getting the vibe like I need to be quiet for a minute. Look at these powerful crystals. And I'm also, for whatever reason, I'm really hot. So I'm going to switch to this hat. It's interesting how, like, as a fashion person, I'm like, this is what I want to look like. And then spirit is like, no. And I was like, no, but I want to wear that hat. I want it to be warm. And anyway, but this is the one I'm supposed to wear today. It seems like the more I've been pushing the negativity out and pushing the trolls away, the more they're coming for me. And it's so upsetting. It's like all I can do is just be present, you know, like even myself right now, like I just want to cry and scream and yell, but I can't. I have to be present, you know. Well, I don't have to be, but it's something that I chose. So getting back on task, we are the biggest voluntary social experiment ever. And, oh, that's unfortunate. Yeah, I feel it too. Spirit was telling me that there are some people right now, or there's at least one energy that's like sending me such negative vibes that it's like really unsettling. This has been happening to me a lot lately. I almost didn't come on today, but I felt really good before I came on. I felt divinely protected. I really did. So I don't really know what's going on with that. I feel wrong to cut off the moth's wings there, right? Like it almost feels wrong, but I felt like sitting on the floor. So this is the way. Oh, I don't know how to do it. So is that better? That's better. Hey, I don't know what happened. I'm telling you, there's some weird fucking energy going on because this was not happening. I've had the most chill morning. I mean, I like have been hanging out with the cats and meditating, and the house felt amazing. I had this trance music on. Everything was great. And it was like the second I came on here, I just started to feel like this, like I almost didn't want to. Earlier, I had so much to say that I was like, I don't know how I'm going to cram this all into 1 hour. And now I kind of feel like sick to my stomach. And, but I think this is a metaphor of some kind because this is what I was going to segue into. As empaths, we really can't be on social media. It's so unhealthy for us. It's so fucked up. It's like we are voluntarily like giving away our power, and we're voluntarily, thanks for coming in, you guys, and we're voluntarily engaging with something that we know deep down like isn't good for us or doesn't feel good, but we're doing it anyway. It's like, what the fuck is that? I'd written these few things a while ago. So the first one is engaging. And I had said, simply turn away from it. If you engage the thought, the idea, or the thing itself, you are battling. What does it say? Turn away from it. If you engage the thought, the idea, or the thing itself, you are battling. Oh, so you know what? It's funny because sometimes I just like will ramble and I'll like, oh, I'll go back and get that thought process later. But basically what I was saying is like, we have to turn away from it because as empaths, the second we engage, even this, like the second we engage with each other, the second we engage with that, it's like all of a sudden we are in it. We are in that thing. We are present. We are with it like 100%. But if it's super unhealthy for us, then we're going to feel unhealthy instantly. And basically what I'm saying is I could tell just from not being on social media just for 2 days, for some reason, this time affected me more than before. I think because before it was like, oh, I can go off for a few days and I can go back on when I want to. But this was different. This was like, I didn't really want to get off because I like playing with my pictures and my videos. Like, I didn't really want to stop doing that. That kind of upset me. So I feel like it wasn't fully voluntary. And so now that I'm going to be off for like 31 days, I started to feel like this kind of like almost isolating feeling, this sadness. And so I had to sit with that and I just talked to Spirit about it because I was like, why am I feeling this way? Like, I'm so independent and I don't feel like that. And not only that, but I'm in Portland right now. Like, all of my closest people to me, pretty much, like the big chunk of the people that I'm the closest to on this planet are here right now. So I'm not alone. I don't feel, you know what I mean? But I'm feeling these feelings because somehow I've been programmed, for a long time now over the internet that, and through social media, that for me to feel balanced, for me to feel satiated in my soul, that I needed to have that connection with other people. Like, I had to feel like I was doing something, like I was part of something. And the truth is, I am part of something. I'm part of something so much bigger, so much greater. This one really wanted to come in today. This is Allie's. But, it's like I'm part of something so much greater than that. But that's what they want, because it's a consumer society. Another reason why I wanted to get off Instagram was because I got tired of people coming for me all the time, like in terms of rep my brand, rep my brand, rep my brand. And I'm just like, yeah, I could do that, but it wouldn't feel good to me. It would feel empty because I would just be doing it for the money. And that's going to segue into this next part that I have, that I had written about, another thing that I wrote about a while ago called the Like Me Society. And I said, I think what's killing Instagram is that people can pay for likes and followers. That's not even real. Why would you pay for that? How desperate has this like me culture made people? All this smoke and mirrors, glamour, bullshit in the human world has really started to piss me off. I'm a witch, but I sure as shit ain't wasting my magic on that. My page is absolutely legit. Didn't pay for shit. What you see is what you get. Be yourself, people. Don't pay for people to like you. That's just sad. And the next thing is, are you controlling the drama? We are addicted to control and pain. We're addicted to being controlled, and we're addicted to fucking suffering. And I'm going to do everything in my power to change that. I'm going to do it through here. Now, I understand that this is a different platform of social media. I get that. But it's also like, I look at it like school. Like if I were going to school, I wouldn't say that was social media. And I feel like that's what this is. My page is like, some of it's mine. But even if I say it's mine, it's not mine. It's still always divinely coming from somewhere else, So this like me society, this mentality that we have it's just gotten so gross. And because we all have our walls, right? And everybody puts their walls up differently. Well, some people are really protected. And I don't know, like when I look at their social media, I don't read into it too much. If nothing pops up right away, I just walk away from it. Or if I don't like it, I don't have to dissect every reason why I don't like it. However, some people that will follow me or whatever, and I'll go and check out their page. Because if you follow me, I will go and check out your page. And if I feel like it's something that is beneficial to me, I will absolutely follow you back. If it's not, I don't. And then if they don't follow me back, I'm like, I don't care because it's so fucking high school. It's like, oh, you don't like me, I'm not going to like you. It's like, no, I follow people because I think they're amazing. If they don't follow me back, if they don't feel that same thing, that's okay. Maybe I'm not their muse, or maybe I'm not somebody who does the same thing that they do, So I feel like I just watched that movie Dumplin', and when she was asking the question portion or whatever, she's like, now remember not to say and I forgot the other thing. She goes, because it makes you sound stupid. And I just feel like I'm supposed to feel like that too. Like, not to feel stupid, but to like take a pause, because if I'm not articulating myself correctly, then it's because there's energy there's people on here that are watching right now. Sometimes I'll see that it'll show me only so many people or so many likes or whatever. And then like later on, after it's over, I can see that I'm like, oh, there was like X amount of people watching, and it's like 5 times the amount. I'm like, oh, so they just weren't participating, but there were people watching. So, it's so interesting to me how many daggers have been coming my way. And that's another thing I realized. I was like, I'm draining so much of my energy to protect my social media page. And I was like, how weird is that? Like, what world do I need to like protect myself? I don't know. So I digress, because it is what it is. And I spoke about this before, that, Lady Gaga had said earlier this week that the social media was the toilet of the internet. And I just laughed so hard because it's so true. And that's how I feel too. It's like, people are like, oh, well, it's what you put into it, or it's what blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yes and no. Because if you're someone who has the greatest intention, even if you have the greatest intention, you don't know who's actually coming on your page and looking at your stuff and feeling greed or envy or, whatever, or how much bullshit is out there. I'll go on someone's page and it says they have 28,000 followers, and I'm like, not even fucking close, but they pay for that. And it's a facade. And there's so much of this, look at me, like me, even myself. Like right now, I'm like, man, why didn't I just leave myself alone? I liked the way I looked and I kept fucking with myself. And I'm like, why do you care so much about what you look like? It's like my muggle and my spirit are like arguing all the time, because my spirit could give a fuck what I look like. It could give a fuck what I'm wearing. But my muggle, my human and my ego wants to be accepted, right? Wants to be beautiful, what if somebody's watching this for the first time? I mean, there were so many there were so many errors that happened on this episode. I mean, I could have gave up and just been like, fuck it, and just left. But I'm like, no, I'm going to fight through it, because not everything is perfect. That's the great part about going live. It's not perfect. Saturday Night Live is one of my favorite shows. I love that it's still going, because, I love when they start to crack up, because that's natural. Somebody's making you laugh. Maybe they're remembering something from rehearsal, and they're like, oh my God, they're going to do it, and they're like getting ready. They're gearing up for it. So they're already laughing, It's like, that's a natural emotion. It makes me laugh harder. So it's like, I don't care that they're not perfectly in character. Years ago, when I was in theater, when I was in high school, when we were going to state, Mr. Marine, he was amazing. He was an amazing coach. There's so much lately I've been like kind of going back to my high school years and going back to like that, because I'm like, I hear a lot from people. They're like, you're just like you were in high school. And I'm like, well, that's a good thing and a bad thing. Part of it's good. Part of it's like, I hope I've evolved and changed since then. But the one thing that I really loved about high school was that I was with the drama club. And, when we were gearing up for state, it's funny. I don't know if you can hear that car alarm. When it just went off, I love it. But Mr. Marine didn't tell us that he was going to do this, but right before our very last dress rehearsal, before we went to state for our, state competition for the whole, squad, you could tell I was on cheerleading too, for our whole group. We were going through the whole play, and it was a very dramatic play. It was called Death of a Minor. And I played Winona, and I played this amazing character who was the main character of the play dies, who was played by my buddy Stacey Necula at the time. And so she dies, and she's like a ghost. And so she's kind of like hanging around us all the time. And so with each scene, with each thing, he was doing all these things. Like, for instance, like there was this really dramatic scene between this guy, Tom Costigan, and like this one other guy. And all of a sudden a rubber chicken started like flying through the ceiling. The tech guys were doing, and we're like, what the fuck? But we weren't supposed to break. He goes, I'm going to do shit. And whatever I do, he's like, you cannot break. You cannot break. You cannot fucking break character. I'm serious, you guys. He's like, we're going to state. This is the real deal. We're going up against, we were going up against some of the hardest schools in the state, and he knew the plays that were going to be there. And he's like, we've got to really pull this out. So nobody broke. Then there was a scene where like we were all in the bar. Well, normally in the beer bottles there was water, but for shits and giggles, he thought it would be funny to put all different soda pop in all the bottles. I mean, obviously we're in high school, right? So we can't drink. But I just remember going to take a swig of my water, which would normally be in there, and it was root beer. And I was like, what the fuck? But I mean, I couldn't respond. I was just like, so I just naturally put in, that's really good today, or that hits the spot or something. I totally like improvised, and he was like, okay, that's fine. But like because I couldn't help it. I just naturally responded to it. I wasn't expecting it. And then I had to do a monologue. And my monologue is really sad. It actually won, there was only like 5 of us that won Best in State for our performance, and I actually won because of that performance. But it was a really dramatic performance, and I'm crying. And I'm like starting to get emotional where I'm like, you don't think I don't think about her? That I don't go to grab the phone to call her and she's not there, you know? And I'm in this dramatic monologue, and here comes the rubber chicken again. And all it did was make me more focused. It made me mad kind of because I was like in this moment, and it was like my moment, and I was like, don't steal my fucking thunder. And I just got back into it. And I feel like that is exactly what the social media is. It's like the rubber fucking chicken, you know? It's like coming in, and it's just like, it's just bothering us. Like, I've been doing so much stuff. Yesterday, I was so fucking productive. From the time I woke up at like 7 o'clock, I like fed the cats. I went through this whole thing. I did so much yesterday. By 12:30, I'm like, I'm exhausted. I thought it was like 3. And I'm like, oh my God, it's only 12:30. And I realized because I wasn't on the internet, I wasn't on social media, I wasn't working. I was working, like I was talking to Spirit. I was actually writing things on my phone, but I wasn't connecting with anybody else. I was just connecting with myself. I was connecting with this house. I was connecting with the animals. I was connecting with the music. I was engaging. I was engaging with my day, enjoying it, which is why I'm so puffy today too, because my schedule was all over the place, and I ate dinner so early, and I was starving at like 9, and I'm like, I can't go to bed hungry. And I was like, what do I want? What do I want? I ended up like making popcorn and watching a movie, and I was up till like 12, and I woke up this morning like, oh, all the salt from the popcorn. Like I felt sick when I woke up, and I was like, our muggles can only handle, or our human bodies can only handle so much. So we have to be really mindful of like what we're putting into it, what we're seeing, what we're participating in, you know, what we're engaging in. And it's funny because this guy's alarm keeps going off, and I've been here almost 3 weeks, and I've never even heard that alarm. So somebody's probably spending the night. Because, you know, these kind of neighborhoods, they're so small. It's like you're going to see the same houses and the same, you know, they don't have garages. The houses are really close together. But anyway, so I just think it's funny because that's my rubber chicken today. And things have been, I feel like I keep getting tried to like pull off kilter, off, you know. And this is a really powerful week because we're gearing up, you guys. This is our last week of winter, technically, because spring's going to be here soon, according, you know, to well, I guess the pagan calendar too, but, you know, but the Gregorian calendar, you know, and the one that we use now, and the system that we have in place here in the United States, we're about to change the clocks back, not this Sunday or forward. So a week from today, we're going to be, you know, moving forward. Which, by the way, that reminds me, would you guys like it if I did the show at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time? Because I'm finding that some of you are saying you're having a hard time showing up because it's either 10 o'clock for you or 12 or 1. I guess it just depends on the people. But if you have a say, you know, let me know. But yeah, I mean, it's like life is dramatic enough. Like I've been dealing with some stuff in my own life that has nothing to do with social media or nothing to do, you know, something that's been such a huge distraction for me that I didn't count on. And it's just every day has been a constant fucking distraction for me. But it's oddly making me more focused. It's oddly like bringing me more to center, you know? Oh, I just heard somebody's higher self or spirit guide wants to talk about the skeletons in the closet. I don't know if they're mine. I don't really have any skeletons in the closet. I used to. I'm pretty much an open book now. I don't think there's anything now that I would be like, so who's got skeletons in the closet? This message is for you. Come talk to me. We'll talk about it. You gotta let those skeletons out, man. If you fucking put them in the closet and you just act like they're not there anymore and you just shove them away, they're just gonna come back. They always do. That's the thing. The shit always comes back. So many things that I've been going through keep coming around and around and around and around and around like this with the social media. Because it just feels so unhealthy to me. It feels absolutely, positively unhealthy to me. If there were a perfect utopian world where I can just go on Instagram and just, actually, well, there is. I can make my page private. So maybe that's what'll end up happening. That'll end up being a private page for only my followers and myself. I don't know. I really liked it because, like I said, for my artistic outlet with my photography and my videography, but I could do that here too. I can always put my pictures up to you guys. And then again, it's like, who am I doing it for? I've had many people, even when I'm like out and about, like Ed and I will be out and about and say we go to like some place that's like a big waterfall. Like on New Year's Day when we went to Lake Quinault, there was tons of people around this one waterfall. And this one lady was like, oh yeah, like she saw me videotaping. She was like, oh, that's going to be a good one, But oh my gosh, one of my spirit guides is being really funny right now. It's interesting. Not all my spirit guides are like, I love the world, I love life. Some of my spirit guides are a little cynical. They're not mean. They're just, they don't have the same type of the complex emotions that we have here on Earth. The sad thing is, I was really, really into this episode. I was so excited to be here. And now I'm feeling like this really sad, draining. Oh, you know what I'm going to have? I know. Chocolate makes everything better. Did you guys know, my first shaman, Michelle, told me this, that dark chocolate, cacao, that cacao is actually, it's many things. It's an aphrodisiac. It's a connection to spirit. I try to only eat dark chocolate that has no sugar. It's all healthy ingredients. This is endangered species chocolate. It was on sale with these little individual packets, and the amount of sugar is so low. Yeah, like one square, I think there's a gram of sugar. So I was like, all right, I'm going to let that pass because for some reason, I'm really connected to this. And I've never seen them in a bag individualized like that before. It's quite tasty. Does anyone have any questions? Because, I don't want this to be some like soapbox for me bashing on the internet, or social media, because it also serves a purpose. I like it, but it also serves a purpose. Hey, little nugget. You want to come hang out with us? Hi. You want to say hi to everybody? Where's your brother? Hey, Conan. This is Miss Lola. Hi, Lola. Do you want to be on camera? Lola is her own cat. She's like Baba. Sometimes she lets you pick her up and sometimes she doesn't. Say hi, Lola. She's like, no. She wants to sit on my lap. She doesn't want to be by everybody else. That's okay. Yeah, I don't want to bash things, but at the same time, we have to be like logistically aware where our consciousness is. Where are you putting your consciousness? How much of yourself are you giving away? Like, this is my job. I may not like it, but this is my fucking job. I signed on for this. And every time I try to pull away from like connecting with people, I know that that's not what I'm supposed to do. And there's a part of me right now that feels so connected and so disconnected at the same time. And it's kind of rough. And I'm going to smoke a bowl live. This is my beautiful thing. Ed gave me this. Isn't that pretty? It's made out of wood. Ed gave me that for Christmas. I got to find my lighter. Yeah, because I'm like, you know what? If no one's going to show up right now, then I'm going to smoke. One time, you know what's so funny? This is, we used to say this when I was at Psychic Sister. Every time it would be really slow, I would go, I'd be like, I'm going to go outside and smoke for a little while. And whoever was working would be like, all right, you know. Then I'd come back and I go watch. I go, I'm going to come back. There are going to be a shitload of people. It happened every time. Happened every single time. So I'm going to do the same here. Because I do miss that. I miss being somewhere where people just come in. As hard as it was to be, I used to call it psychic speed dating. As hard as it was actually really fun. Like I had so much fun doing that. It was hard though. It was an exhausting day, you know. So I really didn't want to do it unless I made like $200 or $300 because 5 hours of that is like really intense. And I'm like, I make $85 an hour just sitting in my house. So I was like, I'm like, that's an intensive day. But I loved it. I loved it. That's why I met so many of you. So I'm in gratitude for it. Oh, there was one other thing I want to talk about. Obviously, come on if you have any questions. Let me see what's going on in the question department. Okay. But obviously, feel free to ask anything while I'm here because we talked about that. And also being addicted to the drama, you know, we can't forget about that. Like, that's a really, really big deal. You know? Okay. So I found this. So I was called yesterday to pull a rune. It was either yesterday or Friday. And it kind of looks like an arrow. It just depends on which way you're looking at it. And it's called Tiwaz or Tiwaz. And it says you can work with this rune in your life to manifest warrior strength and courage and to help propel you forward with cause and passion and acknowledge that you have chosen well. This rune is a call for justice, to find victory, to help find the strength and force of faith. Highly useful when setting intentions for manifestation work, especially if you're having trouble allowing spirit to lead the way. To separate unnecessary martyrdom from positive self-sacrifice. To build sound judgment and seeing the truth and right, quote unquote, like right, you know what's right. To find your spiritual warrior strength, will, and courage. As with all magical symbols, there are numerous ways to add this rune to your daily practice. Wear it as a talisman, use it on your altar, draw it on paper or in the air to activate it, or use it in healing. Don't be afraid to mix up your magic. You know, I wanted to bring that in and talk about that because I'm like that. Like, I really am having a hard time with the label stuff because I'm so many different things. I'm not just one thing, you know, like I'm multiple things. I'm multiple things. I'm on multiple, you know, I'm in multiple dimensions. I'm doing multiple things all the time. And I want to word that again because that's really powerful. Don't be afraid to mix up your magic. So do what feels right to you. Some of the stuff I do is my Cherokee, like Native American based. And that's that one side of my ancestors. And then some of it is like more like my gypsy witch and like tinctures and like, you know, working with like the oils. And like I've really been drawn to patchouli lately. Actually, the last few days I've been really, really drawn to patchouli. But it's like, you know, I remember when I first started on my journey, some of the Native Americans that I was working with were like, don't talk about witches or brujas or like, don't talk about that shit. Like they get really upset if you talk about that. And then I just thought that was really interesting. And then I realized that in every culture, there's a rigidness in every culture. So in some Native American cultures, they may be like, you know, don't talk about this. We only honor this, or don't, you know, and then you start to realize it's just like every other culture and every other religion that has like the people that are like the diehards that are like, no, it has to be this way. And then you have people like us who are more the rebels who are like, no, like it's multi-level, it's multi-dimensional. There's so many things, there's so many aspects of our brains, of our entities, of our spirit. And the unicorn energy. Oh, that's why Ted wanted to come. You know, it's like, that's Ted. He's my greatest protector, or one of my greatest. But having this divine energy, like having this divine, labeling it is dangerous, I think, because I think that's what's happening. It's also going back into the social media. It's like where people are like feeling like this. It's like, why does there always have to be some segregation or divide? You know, why we're trying to be, we are one. We are cohesive. We are one. The consciousness, we are one consciousness. We are one entity. We are one energy. We have different levels, different facets. We are our own entity, but we come from the divine. We come from source. I heard peppermint. I'm going to sit with peppermint for a minute. Well, whose ever anger and frustration I'm dealing with right now, I am, you know, let's just filter it through my body and into the ether. Doesn't belong to you. It doesn't belong to me. We shake it out. We shake it out. We shake it out. We shake it out. We feel the emotions. We work through the emotions. We filter the emotions, and we let the emotion go. If we hold on to the emotion, if we hold on to the sadness, if we hold on to regret and all these other things, we can't move forward. So if we get caught in these Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Tinder, whatever the fuck, you know, it's like, just go out into the world, people. Like, go out into the world. Just go out into the world. Find your tribes, find your people, find the places, manifest your people. You know, I didn't really understand Tinder, and then I was watching some TV show and the guy was doing it, and I was like, that is insanity. So you're basically going, no, you're not cute, no, you're not cute, no, you're not cute. Oh, I kind of like you, blah, blah, blah. Now, I'm not saying that you can't recognize someone, you know, your soulmate by their image. I'm not saying that, but I am saying, like, that's so shallow. And, you know, and I'm going to keep going back to Gaga because she's my hero right now. And she was talking about her song and she said, you know, yes, that song is about love. It's about a relationship. She goes, but it was also like her anthem to like the world. Like, we've become so shallow. Like, when did we become this shallow? When did we become, you know, and I'm like, well, the truth is it's been like this for so long. And the internet was just a faster, and social media was just a faster, easier way to control us. It was just like immediate. Because you can, especially empaths, you can change our trajectory. You can change our emotions within a second. We're the easiest to manipulate. That's the truth, you guys. As empaths, we are the easiest to manipulate. So if we are the easiest to manipulate, then we have to protect and guard ourselves fiercely. Get together with your tribes close by, you know, find groups, and they'll know somebody in another town, and they'll know somebody. It's like, you can still sell your product. You can still be who you are without having to rely on social media. Like, there goes that dude's horn again. You know what I mean? It's like, they're trying to distract me. They're trying to, and I'm like, no, fuck off. Like, it's just making me, it's making me angry. Yes. And I need to stop being angry. I have some sugar and it'll make me happy. But, you know what I mean? I guess I'm just frustrated. I'm going through withdrawal. And yesterday was such a good day, and I ate such good foods and cooked food. And let me tell you, not to throw flowers on myself because I cook and bake nearly every day, but I made the most fucking epic granola I've ever made in my life. It was so good that I wish I hadn't tasted it. I've gotten to the point now, I make granola so much, like, I'll just make it, and like, once it's done, I just put it in a thing and I have it for the week to eat with for cereal and almond milk or to snack on. Oh no, I made the mistake of, man, that color's pretty. I was like, that looks near perfect. And I was making my dinner, and I'm making my dinner, and all of a sudden I take a piece of my granola, and I'm like, holy fuck, that shit's good, man. And I followed my same recipe, but I used a few different ingredients this time. Just the combination of the ingredients that I used, it was so good. So that was, I ate too much of, you know what I mean? Like eating certain things can just like throw you off completely as an empath. So we got to be mindful, right? We got to be mindful. And I got a little excited yesterday because I've been dealing with construction all week and having to wear earbuds or blast my music. So it was so nice yesterday to like have trance music on or nothing on at all. It was just quiet. It was peaceful. It was so nice. So I overindulged in my day and now I'm paying for it today. So anyway, all cause and effect, right? It's all cause and effect. All cause and effect. Even what I just did is cause and effect. Yeah. So I'm going through my withdrawal from the internet and I'm just recycling more energy, sadness, whatever. I'm noticing that it's focusing on the crystals and I'm like, I probably should have it focus more on me. And not because of that, but just that I don't know if that would be frustrating for you guys to try and see me. So yeah, so I've been working with really powerful amplifiers, healers. Edward gave me this amethyst, I don't know, 3 Christmases ago. It was so much darker purple than this. Now it's almost white. I know it's hard to see it, but and I take special care not to keep this in the sun. So I know that's not what it's drained from. This amethyst works its ass off. It's a powerful one. But we got to work with these, with our healing crystals. I got some blue kyanite. It's a nice filter. Selenite. I've just been trying to keep my energy field, really crystal clear, pun intended, working with things like pyrite, apophyllite, things that bring me really close to spirit and going more inward, more within, like, fuck you guys. I get it. We're in a technology age. I mean, this is the end. This isn't the end of the world. This isn't, my mom and I, this is the only thing we've had in common was that we both believe that she thinks it's the end of the world. I don't know what she thinks. We don't talk too much about it because, we don't believe the same things, but she believes it's the end of something, biblically speaking. I believe, yes, it's the end of something, but I feel like the technology age is here for us to really understand who we are, how we're being controlled, how we're going to show up in the world. And I think a form of how we're, kind of disappearing is we're just disappearing from each other's lives. I'm seeing so many people, killing themselves, 30-something-year-olds, teenagers, 60-something-year-olds. I mean, Kate Spade was such a weird one for me. I was like, wow. And it's interesting because the house that I'm staying in, they just got married in September. And it must be from that because I don't remember them having these plates before, but all of her plates are Kate Spade. And I was like, oh my gosh. I'm like, every dish, I'm like, oh God, don't slip. Because I'm like, this has got to be really expensive. And then I think, oh, Kate Spade, you know what I mean? Like, it's so sad. And it's like, there was an artist who, she, in my mind, I'm like, she's making fucking handbags. I have no idea why this is doing it, but I'm just going to let it fucking be the way it is. I'm not going to judge it. I'm just going to let it go. Because when these things happen like this and go live, like, I mean, I'm in the city. I've got great reception. There's literally no reason why this should keep doing that, but it is. So I digress. But no, there's no questions and nobody has anything to say. All right. I guess it was just for me to speak my truth, speak nonsense, smoke a little weed. See what I mean when I tell you? I mean, it might have made me a little more not as focused, but I'm still me. Palo Santo spray. And whoever keeps coming here and is trying to send me harm, that's okay. I'm just going to keep praying for you. I'm just going to keep praying for you. Even now. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you for blessing anyone who's coming on here. feeling the need to send poisonous arrows my way or to the way of anyone who's participating in this. Let them know that they are love, that they are kindness, that they are peace, and that the suffering is self-inflicted. They don't need to suffer. And addiction is real. I know I live it. You're not being judged. You're loved for exactly who you are. I just won't allow you to hurt me or anyone else. Thank you, Spirit. I almost went into I bind you. I almost went into a binding spell naturally. I stopped myself because, I don't bind anybody. This is their journey just as much as it's mine. And just because I don't like it doesn't mean it's wrong. And if you want to bind people and do binding spells, if that's your calling, that's awesome. I do believe there are some people that are bound to do that. When all that shit was going on with Trump and the election a few years ago, and the witches, and it was all over the internet. I don't know if you guys know this or not. It was a huge thing. And I just sat back and watched for a while, and then I finally participated because some people are like, I can't believe you of all people would do a binding spell. I can't believe you of all people would, I still stand by that decision because it was from a loving place, and it was from it needed to be done because there was a lot more damage that was going to be coming through. You guys think we've saw things? You have no idea what else would have happened if we didn't. And some of us believe things to be differently. Some elder witches were like, certain shit has to get done, and other elder witches were like, I don't think we should get involved. And that's what happened. So even now, I read something, I think it was yesterday, because I went on my YouTube channel and there was this thing about Bernie Sanders running for president again. And I'm like, Jesus, it's like a fucking business. Nobody cares. Like, you know what I mean? Like, everybody's so worried. They're saying, oh, I want to do this, or I'm going to make these changes. And it's like, yeah, but you're already like gearing up your, what I mean? You're getting ready for round 2, which is great. But I just feel like we need such a significant change, and I don't think Bernie's the answer either. Even though I love Bernie and I think Bernie's amazing, I don't think Bernie's the answer. I'd love to see Bernie be vice president, actually. I'd like to see a woman be president, and not because it's sexist, but because I feel like we need a really strong woman, or a male, or, okay, I'm hearing, no, you don't believe that. Say it properly. So basically, this is it. I don't care what they look like. I don't care if they're male, female, trans. I don't care if they're gay, straight, bi. I don't give a fuck. I just want whoever goes into power next, if we make it that far, I want whoever goes into power next to be compassionate and kind and come from love and have like the biggest heart chakra on the planet, I want someone who's intelligent, who understands, okay, this needs to be done or that needs to be done, or to say, they're not going to like this, but this is what has to be done. Because not everything Trump did was horrible. There were some things he actually implemented that were really good, that did make some positive changes. However, it's the way he did it, it's how he did it, and then he did other shitty stuff. So, for himself, because, he's only out for number 1, let's be honest. But there were some things that he wanted to see change, and I applaud him for, doing certain things. Anyway, I digress. But whoever goes into office next needs to regulate the internet in a way that, this bullying, like so many things have gotten so out of control. And, a lot of people are like, oh, it starts with home. That's true. But once a kid is old enough to actually go out on their own and like make their own choices, it doesn't matter if a parent stops them from doing something. They're still going to see something at school, or they're going to see something at the mall, or they're going to see something in the library. You know what I mean? Like, we can't shield our children from everything, but we can make better choices and we can find better people to, to do that. So I think in order for us to shift the planet, we need people like myself, light workers. I feel like now I want you to look at the crystals. You know, we do need the powerful light workers and healers, but we need people like myself in Power's office, we need that. We need love and compassion and kindness and peace right now. Peace in our minds, peace in our hearts, peace in our souls. We have to do the work. We have to undo all the damage that has been done to us from our ancestors over decades and centuries. Right now, I'm just channeling. And you know what? Next time, I'm just going to channel and let things come through. This is such a powerful crystal, you guys. Wow. I wish you can feel it. It's like, my whole body just feels electric. So as we're gearing up for this next week, as we're about to lose an hour, this is my least favorite time of year in that respect, because the one thing people don't remember or understand is that in the fall, we're getting ready to be quiet and be still and go inward. So not only are we going into a time to be at peace with ourselves, but we gain an hour. And we're like, oh, cool. Oh, I get another hour of sleep. I'm going back to bed. Oh, I get another hour to be with my loved one. That's awesome. This time of year, it's the wake up, and actually I go to frankincense, which actually makes me feel, so I'm going to go to the peppermint because I knew peppermint wanted to come. Oh, and citrus bliss. Yes, citrus bliss. Right? So the citrus oils are the ones that liven us up, keep us alive. Yum, yum, yum. Yes, right? So now we're about to amp up. As much as people say, oh, I'm sick of the snow. I'm sick of this. I'm sick of that. It's like, yeah, but are you ready? Because now we're amping up. We're amping up for the 2 busiest seasons, the next busy 6 months. Are you ready? This is a great time to reflect. There's a new moon this week. I believe it's on the 6th. So it's in a few days from now. Research your stuff. Look at your new moon stuff. I'm sure I'll be posting some stuff on here. So make sure you subscribe so that you can know when I'm going to have a video or when I'm going live. But yeah, so gearing up, we've got a new moon this week. And then next Sunday, we're going to lose an hour. So an hour is being taken away from you. How are you going to handle that? What are you going to do for yourself on another level of self-care to make up for that hour that you're going to lose? Think about that. Because usually the week after the time change is not my favorite. It's not my favorite. It's actually my least favorite time of year the entire year. In fact, when I was putting my mom's flight together, I specifically was like, no, I want her to go the next weekend because I'm like, I don't want her to fly on a day that's like time change and all that. You know what I mean? I'm like, no. So with that being said, we're amping up and, it's like, oh, spring and it's exciting and it's awesome. But then here comes summer where it's like the kids are out of school. You've got activities and camps and all this stuff. And it's like, and then the kids go back to school and then you got to deal with that. And it's like, oh, and then fall comes and you know what I mean? And I want you to live in the present and I want you to be in the now, but I also want you to prepare yourself for the energy that's about to take place. And only collectively can we change that energy. I mean, in my perfect world, I'd like to go back to where we don't ever fuck with the clocks. There's a reason why farmers get up with the sun and go down. You know what I mean? They're done for the day when the sun goes down. We're gearing up for the longest days, and we do so much in those days. There's so much activity that happens in those days that by the time it gets to, fall and winter, we need that time. We need that time for our bodies to relax and heal. And that's literally the main reason why I had to leave Los Angeles. I could not handle it. When I first moved there, I remember I'd be like, to my friends back at Chicago, I'd be like, oh, you're in a blizzard? Well, I'm going to the beach. You know what I mean? I was like, and I loved it. But then after like 7 years straight, I remember I said to somebody, I'm like, I can't. I'm like, I've literally had almost 8 years of summer. I felt like a crazy person. I really did. And I was like, gosh, I mean, I would like have these like fake, almost like these fake, what's the word I'm looking for? Like I'd pull the blinds down and put the air conditioning on really cold so I can be under a blanket so I could pretend like it was actually November or December because it'd be so hot outside and I'd be like, no, I just want to feel like it's, fall or winter. So that's when I realized I'm like, no, I need seasons. I need seasons. If I could probably live in Southern California again, but I'd have to be on the beach where at least I'd feel the cool air and at least I'd feel days where it wasn't super sunny all the time. But anyway, so I know, some episodes are gangbusters and some of them are like today where it's like pulling teeth and for whatever reason, nobody had any questions or nobody wanted to talk, and that's okay. So just be mindful of your energy this week. Harness the energy of the sun now that we're going to have more time. That sun energy makes such a difference, you guys. It makes such a difference. Like just the last few days working with the crystals like in the sun and like the amplifiers and just, oh, there was some sun here earlier, but now I can just get the flame. But yeah, like working with that sun energy is really powerful. But the sun drains us too. So start asking yourself, like, what do you want the rest of this year to look like for you? What do you want to do with your time that you're here? How do you want to contribute? I always say to Spirit, how may I serve? Ask Spirit, how may I serve? How may I serve? How may I serve the greater and higher good? How can I serve myself? How can I serve those, around me? What is the best, what is the best course of action for myself? And I'm going to let go of this anxiety because I don't know whose it is, but this was a tough one for me. This one was a tough one. Physically, emotionally, energetically, this may be my toughest episode I've ever done. So thank you for showing up. Thank you for being here. I'm going to wrap it up. We're almost at time. And yeah, let's see if Spirit has any other pearls of wisdom for us on our way out. Oh, they want me to read working the end of that rune. There was one thing they wanted me to say, that this energy, this warrior strength, courage, we want to channel this energy, and it's called TEIWAZ or TEWAZ. Sorry, you guys, I should have worn my glasses. So we want to work with this rune this week. It's about obtaining victory and success in battle, litigation, or legal matters, building spiritual will and development of sound judgment, and developing the power of positive self-sacrifice, and developing the force of faith in magic and religion. And whatever that means to you, like I'm reading what they said, but it's like, I want you to take that for what that means to you, because I know some people, religion is like but I think some people think of the word religion as just a spiritual practice, like a regular practice, instead of like, it's a religion. So take from that what you want. So I'm going to take, it's a call for justice, to find victory in the little things, to pull from, our inner strength, our faith, and set some intentions for this new moon. What do you want to let go of? What do you want to manifest into your life? What are the new wonderful things that you want to manifest into your life this week? That also, as we're changing into, as we're going to gain more light, and we're going to lose a little bit of time, but we're going to gain more light. So let's look at that balance and how we're going to work with that this week. All right. Thanks, you guys. I love you. Thanks for hanging in there. Thanks for your support. Please subscribe, and I'll see you next week. Take care. Blessed be. I hope. By the way, I'm going to do a little closing prayer when we leave, but I'm not feeling the call to do it now. I'm feeling the call to do it afterwards. Okay. I'll see you then. Bye.